Okay, so a project that I'm thinking about doing for second semester is student-led seminars, or SLS. Yeah, this one has a whatever it's called.
You've inspired him.
What's it called again? Anyway,
And yeah.
a thing where like the letters spell something.
Abbreviation?
No,
Acronym.
acronym.
Yes, acronym.
The acronym. Anyway, yeah. So it's like TED Talks and educational presentations. Okay, so the goals of the SLS to give students a platform to present and speak on a subject of passion. So obviously this is the main reason why I wanted to do it, and so but if this was a project where lots of students could join in after a while, then that'd be really helpful just to give students at Ben Davis a place to speak on subjects of their passion. Educated masses, so a lot of these seminars that we would talk about are things that maybe are controversial or a widespread issue that has a new perspective. So things like race and ethnicity, things about politics, anything like that, that if someone has a new point of view, then they can share something that maybe would not be appropriate to talk about normally in a safe setting. And to diversify the student body. So with the education again, it goes back to my why to, eradicate ignorance and open up new ways of thought to the student body. And that's basically how it relates to my why. It's just giving students, not only me getting to present and give students a new way to think and try and break down some of those barriers that society creates for us, but also giving other students a platform to do that as well. So funding. So hopefully we can get the funding down as long as we have department cooperation and sponsors and mentors for all of the different aspects of the program. Meaning the theater and speech departments we would need to help us, one for coaching, one to help us make presentations, and then working with Monty and Mr. Hughes for different kinds of presentations that we need, and then as far as logistics goes, using the theater and auditorium for places to present, and also classrooms for smaller areas, especially when the program first starts up, and then scheduling as well. So yeah, that's kind of with our mentors, but also just to get the program in. The seminars is obviously the biggest part, and my artifact. So like I said, things like politics and race, ethnicity, really anything that, like I think it could be on anything, and then essentially setting up like student-led TED Talks. And those can be really diverse. Just going into activities, you can teach someone something, you can educate someone on something, as long as you're having the student body walk away with something that they didn't already have or know, then I think it's acceptable. And then if we had a board, especially with administration, which we would have to go through to okay everything, and each presentation probably, and then go through Hughes and Monty, I think that would be no problems. The goals and successes, so this kind of goes together with the issues that we have and also the successes, because if we can get through the issues, then that is the success. So advertisement would be a big issue, but also if we can advertise through the different departments that we're through, because if we're going through the choir department, theater department, and speech department all, then that's at least 3 different groups of students that know about the presentations. And then on top of that, BDTV and morning announcements, the radio, which I have connections with all of those, and then along with administration, if we had administration support, then I think it wouldn't be a big issue marketing the program. Participation. Oh, along with advertisement, I know that there's a lot of kids who are interested in something like this because, especially in music and in speech, like a lot of kids feel like that's kind of their way of expressing themselves, and with something like Capstone, I think a lot of kids really gravitate towards something like this. And so I think in a presentation setting, in an open setting with other students, I don't think it'd be an issue finding people to actually present. I think the issue would be filling seats for the presenters. Participation, like I said, filling the seats. Hopefully turning it into a club, that would be a big goal of mine. If we can get it inside of school, then that'd be better instead of just outside of school, because that'd probably be an easier way to get people to come. Outreach to different kinds of programs and departments, if we can make this something that the whole school knows about, as opposed to just like an exclusive event for specific departments. Education, so making sure that the quality of the presentation stays consistent. which means using mentors, choosing smart students who are responsible and just make sure that their presentations are together as well as their speech. And then acceptance, kind of just keeping the quality of the presentations high as well as keeping it inclusive, which might be a struggle, and then also having the school accept it, meaning administration, so that we can get it started up, and then the student body so that it is successful.